That's just good to be missed sometimes. It's good to be missed all the time. But no, it's not. It's good to be missed sometimes. I guess I was missed this morning. I guess I got an obligation when I'm here. Late. Super late. But I guess I feel obligated to drive a conversation. I don't know how y'all got me into a job y'all don't pay me for. I had to go show my neck to a big dog this morning. Everybody works on a plantation. I don't care what you do. You had to go show your neck. It's like a, you know what I'm talking about. It's like pit bull. Pit bull. When wolf. Little wolves. Big wolf comes around with an alpha. You gotta show your neck. I had to show my neck this morning. That's why I wasn't here. Let me see. That shit sound. I ain't know for sure. I'm gonna share it up first. I'm gonna try this one more time. I'm not sure if y'all want this one good days. So I'm gonna talk crazy stuff. I don't know how long I got. We're gonna talk crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Things that just urgent. Science in the kitchen. That's gonna get you in trouble. Nothing else does. But me, yeah, I'm still alive. Yeah, I'm alive. They didn't get me. They ain't get me. Not yet. They gonna get me. They gonna get me. They didn't get me yet. I'm still here. You can hear my voice is jagged and choppy. Hang on. Hang on. Let me try to bring in YouTube comments. See if anybody's on YouTube this late. I want to talk about this. So important. It's so ancient scriptures is so important. Hang on. Let me know if y'all can hear me. I'm trying to get YouTube over here. Ancient scriptures are so important. Peter Levenda said something that we've been saying, which is powerful. So yeah, right now I'm talking about ancient aliens. That's what I'm talking about. Talking about aliens in a little bit. I always jump around on it. But I think we don't know where we come from. We have no idea where we're going. I have to reread my post because it's quite difficult to do this and keep things going. I had to go on a plantation this morning. What was this? Oh man, yes, this post. Man isn't alone in the universe. Or the universe. Y-O-U. You're not alone in your own head. There's a lot of people writing up your perception, telling you who you are, giving you your pride and your bigotries and your birth and your races and your religions, but also man is not alone. Well, I think I said human. Human is not alone in the universe. When cows become livestockable, when farmers limit their view of other farms. Ooh, yes, I'm opposed to that. Just how it is. Oh shit. Yes, the comments type post. All right, post it there. Not great. What do I mean by that? Well, if you can convince the cows, the bulls, the free-ranging human beings that they're a tag, they're a label, they're a black, they're a white, they're an American, they're a this, that, the other. If you can convince them the best they have is what's going on, you can limit their vision of other farms. There's no other better way to do it. This is the best you got. If you ever want to fix something and people say, well, this is just the best we got. I hate that. Let me know if you can hear me. This isn't the best we got. Life all over the universe. Life all over the universe. Your ancients tried to tell you that, but you didn't listen. You made religion. You made science, and you begin to fight each other. But, it's all about farming human beings, right? But our ancients always drew on the caves and Nuremberg and all of this stuff. All these creatures that came out of the sky. You're crazy now if you think it's okay to believe in a God and angels and demons floating on clouds, but if you say there's no way we're alone in the universe, things came here and they left. And they told us they were coming here and they told us they were going to leave. Admiral Byrd told you that. All your religions tell you that. So I was I spent, and this is going to go, I'm not going to be here a long time. I I got to pick cotton. Sorry. I have to pick cotton. Let me see, the music's a bit loud, drowning me out. Let me turn that down. Just like that. I'm also trying to keep my voice down. There we go. Turn the music down. Let me know if that's better. I gotta listen to the master comes. I got to go. I can't be here with y'all. If master comes, the two parties got this crony socialism and capitalism going. I got to know master coming around. It's time to go. I can't be messing with y'all out here in the barn. I got to go get my bag and pick my cotton. That's why I'm speaking though. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? What did Hillary say? We are tagged. We have birth certificates. Exactly, Hillary. That's my point. That's my point. Those birth certificates say what you are. All the little tags and this, you're that, you're this. This is your fight. This is your struggle. This is what you're supposed to do. This is going to be your life. This is where you can't go. This is what you can do. And they did that because it's how you make people farmable. You can make them stupid if you convince them that you know what they are. One of my mainstays is they don't know what you are. They have no damn idea. None of them. None of your movements. None of your leaders. None of your kings. None of your... They're all killers anyway. I don't know what you want to follow them. They're all killers. No, they don't want what's best for you. They're trying to bring up the community. No, they're not. They want to own the community. They're upset. They're jealous. They want to be the current kings and rulers. So yeah, only socialism and capitalism got me here. Nope, I have no interest in your socialism, no your cap. They post it all the time. I'm not, because all the psychopaths want me to talk about socialism and capitalism. That's the only systems ever given. Trying to convince me that's all we got. We're the only farm. That's the only way forward. It's insanity to me. The ancients all over this planet drew on the caves. I think they saw so many aliens back then. They saw so many UFOs and they drew them on the caves. Hey, let me see if I can show you a picture before we go to Peter. I want to let Peter talk for a minute. He said something that was just phenomenal. You know how like you listen to other people and what they say, it kind of links up with what you're saying. It's like, whoa, I had an epiphany. Outside of the fact I was in the book of Thoth yesterday, if you ever studied the Bible and old scriptures, you would know. You would recognize earlier origins of where all those scriptures came from. Outside of science and archaeology, I'm telling you that. That's what it brought about a thought I was thinking about. Just religion is it's a gateway. You know, it is a gateway, not the only gateway. Some people get it without religion, but it is a gateway to spirituality. And then you should take it beyond that. It doesn't mean that your religions are false. It just means that man writes in a lot of things to control you. You know, but they were all based in this earlier time that happens a lot. Every 13,000 years, they restart this thing, and these alien things, wherever they come from, humans from the future, creatures from another planet, from inner Earth, I don't know, don't really even care where they come from, dimensions, whatever, they show up, and they teach us. They give us science and mathematics, and they give us love and commandments, and this is how you operate. This is what you're supposed to be. This is who you are. This is what you're supposed to do. If you get stupid, you act too dumb, you fight over oil, you fight over diamonds, you fight over minerals, stupid stuff, you fight over lifestyles, consumerism. Eventually, you're going to focus on that greed. You're going to get bank accounts. That's going to be main focus of your life. They're going to divide you up by race, religion, language, culture, nation, whatever. A few psychopaths that get all the power, and you're all going to get wiped out by the flood or the comet or the super volcano or whatever decides to come to wipe out the dummies. And we can't ever seem to figure that out. We can't ever seem to get to that spot where we say, all right, I get it. This is a generation, I kind of understand that. We got the emerald tablets from the book of Thoth. We got all the cave paintings from all over this planet and all continents. We got all Native American stories. We got all the Aboriginal stories. We got all these ancients who wrote down and etched in stone and put on tablets and clay and everything to let us know we're not freaking alone. And if we don't behave like we're not alone, we're going to be farmed and eventually we're all going to die. And that's how it kind of goes. So that's what I was kind of looking at. Peter Levenda, he kind of linked it. I love the way he said it. He said that the origins of science, and I'm going to say it wrong, but the origins of science and religion for us trying to repeat what we saw the gods do. Magic. Because the gods left and didn't come back. And that's the basis of the religions. Seeking God, right? Going to the heavens, looking up. Like we were all, let me see if I can do a little visualization here. You know, we were all cavemen, sitting around a cave. Bunga, bunga, bunga. Hold on, we're all cavemen, sitting around, mind their own business. Clubbing women in the head and dragging them home. Clubbing men in the head, right, dragging them home too. And one day, some big thing came out the sky. And this happens every couple thousand years. I think they keep giving us a chance to move forward. Focus on the earth. We're looking down, making crafts and stuff. Get some sticks and bones and put them in our nose and try to focus on the things that's important until the aliens get here. And the aliens show up. The gods. That's what we call them, because you can't separate technology and science from magic. And we proceed, and then they leave. Say, okay, the game has started. Started the game. It's at the beginning of a game, right? You explain the rules, the instructions. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're not supposed to do. Don't kill people. Don't murder people. Don't make a military-industrial complex and think you're coming to heaven, because we're not going to let you in heaven if you got a military-industrial complex. You're a killer. Don't support those killers. And then they leave. And when they leave, we're like, oh my gosh, gods aren't coming back. And so half the people or a group of people decide gods aren't coming back because they're mad at us. That's why they're mad at us. And of course, the psychopath cavemen in the group's like, bunga bunga. They're mad because you let women have jobs. They're mad because you think you're equal with women. The gods are mad because you, I don't know, took on something from another culture. And so they start to worship the God. We got to bring the God back. We got to seek God in heaven and always looking up, wait for God to come back, looking for the signs, right? And that's why all the ancient archaeology are like based in constellations, the pyramids and Giza and Stonehenge and everything. So everybody's looking up the other side to do the science thing. You know, it's like God did this magic, and that's what magic is. That's what magicians is. It's this modern cult that's just mimicking what we saw the gods do, you know, with the scepters and all, you know, we think it's magic, and it's just, magic is just technology. It was just technology we couldn't understand at the time. And so the origins of science and religion are based on the fact that we saw some things a long time ago. We have no idea what the frick we saw. And people wrote it in caves and scriptures and this, that, and this, how you do this, and the Egyptians and commandment. Let me start this out. I want to let him say it. This was a powerful conversation.
Rights. And he presents magic as technology used by outside sinister forces in order to open up these space-time portals so that human procreation can be used to create alien-human hybrids for reasons unknown. And the only way to stop the abuse of innocent human beings is to block those portal gateways. Tonight, I want you, all of you, to give a warm welcome in the digital world to Peter Levenda. I am so happy to have you here. And he has agreed that in the last 15 minutes of the show, we will open your questions tonight to Peter. So to start off, because this is what really intrigues me, he has a brilliant mind. He is a brilliant writer. He is tackling these extremely difficult subjects and weaving them. 3 nonfiction books, his own 3 fiction. But common to both is the whole question. What are the themes, the fundamental themes in the To the Stars, Secret Machines, nonfiction that you felt that you wanted to put into a trilogy of fiction? And what is it that you can put in fiction that you might not be able to write about in the nonfiction?
Well, those are very good questions, and they really go to the heart of the matter that we're discussing. One of the themes that is introduced in Secret Machines, Gods, is the idea that religion and science on Earth may be a kind of cargo cult, that at some point in our distant past, we had contact with an alien entity, an alien force of some kind. And this caused a kind of trauma. They came here and then they left, whoever they were. And we began to reorganize our societies around that idea. We began to look to the stars, quite literally.
Could I ask just quickly, would you at least guide the audience to consider the possibility that that which came, left a Homo sapien human civilization in trauma, might be the Anunnaki or the Sumerian?
Well, the Sumerians talk about this. Whether or not it's Anunnaki specifically is a different thing, but the Sumerians obviously talk about having the gods come to Earth and then the gods abandoning them. One of the famous prayers of the ancient Sumerians, we're talking Sumer 3000 BCE roughly, the prayer was, "Spirit of the sky, remember." The high priests were begging the gods to come back down from the stars to the earth. So the Sumerians believed that, the Egyptians believed that their pharaohs would actually travel to the stars after the mummification process. They would ride on a boat to the North Star, to the Pole Star. So there was this idea that there's a connection between humans and the stars, and that there was a possibility, framed by them in religious terms, to travel from Earth to the stars. And that might have been a soul travel, as the Egyptian pharaohs would do, or it might be something more immediate that humans could possibly do.
And is this where magic gets inserted into the relationship of humans to gods?
Magic is a technology. One thing I've learned for studying this subject since the 1960s, quite literally, is that magic, I've learned, is a kind of technology. It's a consciousness technology. It's always framed in very spooky terms in the popular media, and rightly so. There's a lot of very strange people out there doing magic or claiming to do it. But actually, if you really parse it down and you take it apart, you see it's a consciousness technology. It's a way of attuning our own brains and our own minds to see something that should be visible to us and is not, to sense entities, to sense presences that are there which we don't normally sense, and to make that kind of contact. Magic is a reordering of nature, a reordering of reality around us to make that hole, that opening, that gate, in order for us to travel to an astral kind of reality.
We know that Jack Parsons was the first director of the Jet Propulsion Lab that has worked so closely with NASA for a very long time. And there is a book and these stories about how the JPL director, Jack Parsons, used magical ritual. And I thought that he was following the footsteps of Aleister Crowley to try to get an ET to come literally from someplace else into this matter world by doing the Babylon and these other rituals. And when we were talking about this, you had another insight about what he was trying to do. And can you explain, because I think this is confusing, could it be that JPL and NASA were founded with the idea that they were going to have to block portals or open portals to deal with non-human intelligences interacting with Earth?
How much time do you have?
We got at least a half hour.
Jack Parsons is a special study of mine for a long time. Jack Parsons was not just the director of the JPL, he was one of the founders of the JPL. In fact, they used to joke that JPL...
Actually, not pause. I'll post the link, you can watch the whole thing. If you don't follow Linda Moulton Howe, you should. She's freaking amazing. But this is one of the greatest videos she did in terms of discussion about just the beginnings of all of it. But you get where I'm coming from? You see it now? The brain is the ultimate supercomputer. Yes, it is, Stacy, beyond. I think I posted something this morning on that. The whole point is this planet only has one great resource. And as human beings, it's sentient life. Whatever you think that is, that's the greatest resource in this planet. Oil isn't worth crap. Diamonds, gold, minerals, all that crap that they give you, that's just to drive consumerism. That the most significant thing is the human brain, and we need societies that cultivate it, not kill each other and steal their oil and consumerism. And this is why I fall on politics every now and then. You have to fall on politics because politics is what broke the world. That's why most people are broken now and they're broke. Because the elites run it all. The banks run it all. They print the money. They give you conflict so you'll go fight with other people so they can be the most powerful creatures on the planet. They convince you that your farm is that the only chance for cow and livestock is here in their societies. And it's insanity. It's insanity. You can't let politics keep going. It has to come to an end. It needs to go extinct. It needs to go ahead and die its death. They can't make a government that values human life, that values sentience and cultivates human brains as opposed to just murdering them to steal some resources from around where they live, useless resources that are found all over the galaxy, everywhere. Then governments need to go away, all of them. They all need to be deleted. What are we gonna do? Anything. I really don't care. Everything is better than what we got today. Murdering 85,000 children for resources. Everything is better than we got today. Everything is better than what we got today. All the religions getting together, deciding which of the God's children they're gonna murder and go to church on Sunday. Feel good about it too. Go to the temple. Get behind a particular psychopath doing all the things, breaking every last one of the 10 commandments. And they think this is good. That's why I troll politics all the time. I don't take any of your politics seriously. All right. Although it's kind of framed the discussion. And then there we go. I told you this was going to be quick. All right. But you know what I'll do? I'll give you one more video, and then we'll go from there. I have to get out of here. One second. I'm going to show you one more thing. And we'll wrap up the discussion. One more Peter Levenda. Amazing guy. He's a genius, isn't he? He's a genius. When he get together, and I like the way he said trauma. These things came here and they had all this magic. It gave us a trauma. Because they left and didn't come back. They were sitting down here with sticks and stones and fire and bones. And then we wanted to see the gods, find out where they went, try to get them to come back, kill the bad guys, because we're the good guys, and that's why they left, because the other tribe, they did it against us, and they made the gods mad. And then our kings and rulers became the gods. They convinced us it's magic, it's not real, or they could do magic. They had their merlins, the same way King Arthur grabbed his merlin. It's the same way our military industrial complex uses technology, magical technology. See, if everyone does it, then we have equality and freedom. But if kings do it, the rulers, the governments, they're the only ones with the technology, then spiritual technology, consciousness technology, scientific technology, all those technology, if they have a monopoly on that, then they rule us better, rule us easier. I'm show you.
When you first contacted me about this project, I thought to myself, well, this is strange. Why would somebody with this particular type of career want to invest any kind of time and resources in this particular subject? One thing you'll find in this industry is people apologize for being involved in the subject because they are aware there's going to be some kind of pushback. The academics that I've spoken with are very reluctant to get involved in this subject officially, even though unofficially they may express great interest in it. So this attracted me to the project. This attracted me to the whole concept. Can we cut through all of that? And if we can't, why can't we? What's standing in our way? My interest in the paranormal, my interest in occultism, fringe religions, extreme religions, and extreme religious movements goes back to the idea that I knew there was something serious taking place there, but it was not being handled seriously. I thought that what this whole field needed was somebody to go through and say, okay, let's just look at the documentation that exists, because it's really strange what does exist. I think when I first began studying this, it was around the time of Watergate. There was a lot of stuff in the newspapers and magazines about all kinds of individuals who were involved in political machinations behind the scenes, intelligence operations, stuff involved with the government, with the military, with intelligence. We had the Vietnam War taking place. We had clandestine covert operations taking place around the world, and this fascinated me. I wanted to know what was true about it, and in the process of trying to figure out how religion and esoteric information dovetailed with political movements and some of the political things that our own government was doing, I found the point of tangents to be the Third Reich. I found the tangents to be the Nazi Party, Nazi ideology. And then one day I'm in the National Archives and I come across the archive files and the captured German documents regarding something called the SS Ahnenerbe, which was a Nazi occult bureau, basically. And here were the original documents. Here was documentary proof that a major foreign government at one point devoted time, resources, sent people on missions around the world to elucidate, to confirm their ideas that there was an occult aspect to politics, to genetics, from as far as the Nazis were concerned. All of these things, there was a scientific program that was heavily infused with occult ideas. This was startling to me. And I said, wow, there's something taking place here. If they could have done this, did other governments feel the same way? Did other governments invest money, time, and resources into things science would consider fringe? So that really made me interested. And the more real documentation I found, the more I said to myself, we've got to explain this. We've got to show people these things really existed. These people really did believe these things. We tend to think that people are either scientists or they're carpenters or they're musicians, whatever they happen to be. We define them in terms of their role that they have to play in society. But that's not enough to understand what human beings are composed of. When we have people who are running corporations, they're not just business people. There's another aspect to those people that we don't see, of which we are never aware. The same thing is true of government leaders, of military personnel. These are people that have very strong feelings about religion, about the paranormal, about esoteric ideas or deep philosophical concepts that they don't ever express. A person becomes a president and doesn't suddenly leave their religion behind or the closely held beliefs that they had since childhood. These things influence them. We know that President Carter claimed he saw a UFO. He's very serious about that. But he was also a president, also a politician, a humanitarian, a lot of other things. But having seen a UFO doesn't define him. And yet for the rest of us, if we claim we see a UFO, it defines us. We're that UFO guy. You know, nothing else we've done counts or matters. Because I've studied this for a long time, I've talked to a lot of people, and I've read a lot of documentation about it. I've come to the conclusion that number one, there is something taking place that we don't know how to define, but it's definitely real, and it's influencing people's lives and the decisions they make. But if that person is also a president, a general, the head of an intelligence agency, it's going to affect what they do in their job as well. The social stigma attached to studying this is still very strong, and it's dangerous. I personally believe very strongly that this phenomenon exists, and I do that not as a person who's had that experience because I haven't had an experience of a UFO. I've never seen one. I don't have to. There's a lot of things I haven't seen. I haven't seen bacteria. I haven't seen a virus. I haven't seen quantum particles, subatomic particles. I know they exist because the evidence is there. And I think that's the attitude we have to take. We can't suddenly draw a line and say we're scientific in every other aspect of our lives except this one.
Outside of the fact that there's tons of videos of the presidents who've seen UFOs, but this is it's a reality that people need to accept. They just need to accept. You know, we can't get anywhere as a society because they've convinced everybody to go out and fight. So I have to get going though. I couldn't do this. I felt obligated. I had to do something real quick because I do something each morning. But it's going to be a little bit of a hectic day. So I just wanted to kind of just start it out, frame it, give people a chance to kind of come in and talk a few things, do some comments. I gotta go. No, I can't do comments. I heard something. I gotta go. Yeah, have a good day. That was true. Bye-bye. Can't do comments.